There's something under.
Today's spotlight shines on the street fight for the AEW World Championship that took place on Dynamite in last night's main event. Between Cope and current world champion John...
I could tell you that I scripted this video out intricately, eloquently, and I went through a painstaking editing process to make sure that all of my points were articulated properly and everything I said was factually correct. But that's not the case here, because I saw this highlight last night from Dynamite from John Moxley, the current world champion in AEW, versus Adam Copeland, Cope, if you will. And they had a street fight rematch from Revolution for the world title. And, you know, Moxley has pretty much just held the title hostage for God, however long he's had the belt. He's been this unstoppable force. You know, the Death Riders stable, you know, is a modern day NWO. No, it's not. It's fucking garbage. It's garbage. The stable's garbage. You got Moxley, Claudio, who I really like. Cesaro, always have. Dude's talented beyond talented. Pac, who for some reason, inexplicably, when they're all in street clothes, is just wearing his dun-dun-duns. Marina Shafir, who looks intimidating, but they don't allow her to really do anything.
Nothing.
And then you got Wheeler Yuta, the accountant. Of course, you know, it's always handy to have somebody around that does taxes this time of year, and I'm pretty sure that's the only purpose that Wheeler Yuta serves in this stable, is to do their taxes. So... But we have this match, right, which the match at Revolution was underwhelming. After everything else, after Ospreay and Fletcher and Tony Storm and Mariah May and, you know, Bob Buki and his cousin Weenie fighting in the back swamp, you know, gator wrestling match they had at Revolution. They had this as the main event, Copeland versus Moxley. And it wasn't a terrible match, but what could they have done? We'll up the ante. And the ante was upped in the form of a paddle like you used to get beat with in school if you're of a certain age or went to a Catholic school anytime. It was studded with nails. Like, I don't know how many nails were in this fucking thing, but I can tell you, as somebody who has been in the ring for a long time, there's no part of me ever that would agree to this. I mean, I don't even know if I can or should show this spot on here. I know other channels have, but knowing my luck, it'll get... We'll show it right up into the moment where he gets up. Like, we'll show the spot, but we won't show the aftermath in video form. I might show some stills, but this was absolutely ridiculous. Of all this stupid shit, fucking gutter mud show bullshit, to quote Jim Cornette, John Moxley has done in AEW. I gotta bleed everywhere. Oh my God. This is by far the most, and I'm talking, Darby Allin used a fucking flamethrower, you know, against, was that Jungle Bitch? Jackoff Perry. A fucking flamethrower. What is it gonna take? Like, when Moxley took this spot, and it was a suplex, just a basic suplex onto the fucking gimmicked paddle with the nails. Like, you're landing on that flat. All your weight is coming down. Like, yeah, you can. I don't get how he thought he was like. What if you punctured an organ? Like, what if you landed flat on that and it was on your spine? Because your spine is on your back. And you know what's on your spine? Every fucking nerve in your body that controls your ability to fucking move. Why on earth would you jeopardize that? But I mean, the same could be said for the scaffolding match, you know, at Night of the Skywalker, Starrcade 86. Anything New Jack did, you know, I mean, there's something to be said for that. But I mean, it's it's risk and reward, it's cost benefit, and the cost is basically, in a lot of these cases, could be your life. You know, then what's the reward? A big pop? You're going to get a pop, and then 2 days later, nobody's going to fucking remember it. Like, nobody's going to remember this in 20 years. This isn't the big W they think it is as far as pushing the envelope goes. I mean, you can say it's all been done.
It's all been done. It's all been done.
Why are you doing this? What is the point? And I'm saying this as somebody who's in the fucking business. Like, I mean, I'm obviously not on this level, nowhere near it, never will be, but at the same time, we're all risking the same thing every time we step through those ropes. It's dangerous enough as it is, let alone introducing, you know, a melee weapon that if you use that in real life, that's attempted fucking murder. What Cope just did was commit an act of attempted murder to John Moxley in the world of professional wrestling. And that's why I said, you might as well just bring out a fucking handgun at this point. Like, I did a joke, you know. I said I was gonna take a picture or cut a promo and be like, you know, I got a new tag team partner. You guys better watch out. He's explosive. You know, he's 15 times the worker that you are. And you just pan over the chair, and on top of one of my shirts is, you know, like my Glock. But I'm like, that's kind of in poor taste. Fun. I mean, I think the shit's fucking hilarious. But, you know, there's people, oh my God, you know, fucking 20 years ago, 25 years ago in wrestling, that would have got a laugh. You know, now half the people be like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. That's a gunsies. You know, but this is ridiculous. Enough with the joking. You know, this is ridiculous. And I don't know why I expect any different or better from AEW. I mean, there's a reason why I barely watch it anymore. And it's shit like this. Like, why? I don't want to see this. Like, when I see guys get hurt in the ring, I fucking cringe because I'm like, oh my God. Like, and you know, that moment of existential dread sets in as a worker. You're like, you know, that could have been me. You know, that's why you just do your best to not put yourself in ridiculous positions like that. Hey, I'm going to take a suplex. Okay. On a fucking paddle full of nails. No, that's not okay. You know? There was a match where they wanted Sabu to put me through a table, and I was just the fucking commissioner. I'm like, nah. I'm like, anytime I bring anything to you, you say no. And this isn't the promotion I'm currently at. You know, this is fucking, what, 14, 15 years ago. Yeah, hey, Sabu's gonna put you to the table. No, he's not. Anytime I bring anything to you, mind you, at this point, I'm trained enough to work. Anytime I bring anything to you, you say no, because why would I do that? Because I'm just this. But, hey, we're gonna put you through a fucking table, even though you're bigger than the person putting you through the table. No. No. I did a Hogan. That ain't gonna work for me, brother. You know. And I fucking said, I'm not doing the spot. Fucking have a worker do it then, if you want a worker. I've worked street fights, and we were able to gimmick everything enough to where nobody got color, nobody got injured. You know, at least I didn't. No, nobody in the matches got injured because we worked safe. We didn't work reckless. This is reckless. Like I said, in real life, this is an attempted murder. But within the context of professional wrestling, you know, this is fine. This is fine. We can do this. And it's okay because both parties agreed to it. Well, Tony Khan, the fucking clown he is, needs to put a stop to this before somebody ends up like Owen Hart. And I know we joke a lot, but, I mean, we don't want that. We don't want that. Nobody wants that. You know, we've all got families and wives and kids and brothers and sisters and, you know, second cousins twice removed, former nephews, dogs, whatever. Everybody has people. You know, nobody wants to see their people get injured like that or die because they decided to do something ill-advised and highly unsafe in the ring. So, I mean, this shit is dumb, and Tony has no control over his fucking locker room. Like, he has none. And it's to the point now, like I said, we're using flamethrowers and fucking nails and glass and fucking staple guns and hypodermic needles. And it's why? What is your end goal for this? Like, what on earth do you think the sickos like this, like these fucking fans in the background I've had up here the whole time, this is their look when that fucking spot happened. Like, I've got a still of it. Like, that's probably going to be the thumbnail. This is Tony Khan's, like, one guy's mortified and the other guy looks like he just fucking soiled himself, like, from the front, you know what I mean? In a happy way. It's fucking, it's just fucking weird. Like, yeah, I thought the fucking blood and guts shit was cool when I was like 18, 19 years old. And then you fucking start to realize mortality. Like, for me, I was in a car accident. I was in a really bad car accident. And, you know, after that, I was like, man, fuck. You just kind of value human life more. And the same goes for, like, you know, the people that entertain us. And especially, like I said, now being a wrestler, it's like I would not want people to wish me to be injured. You know, I understand, like, if people give you heat because you're a heel or they just don't like you because you're a shitty fucking performer, but I'd never wish injury on anybody. And, you know, I just, John Moxley, you know, he's married to Renee Paquette, you know, Renee Moxley Good or whatever, you know, Jim Cornette calls her. And, you know, I assume they have kids, but I mean, fuck, man, think about that. This dude's a father. You're doing this, like, I mean, you go home, kids, you see daddy get hit in the back with the nails. Like, what the fuck? You know, I mean, yeah, my kid likes to see me wrestle, but I mean, if I was out there, like, getting fucking broken glass and staple guns and shit, he'd probably be like, I'm not coming to your shows anymore, Dad. Think about the fucking sponsors, man. This shit's still on network TV. Like, that's like the fucking pizza cutter spot. You know, they're like, oh, shit. Pizza Hut don't want to sponsor us anymore because Hangman Adam Page or whoever was using a pizza cutter on somebody's fucking forehead. And then we cut right to a fucking Pizza Hut spot. And it's like, damn. You know, you got that deal with Time Warner. What if in a couple of years, when it comes time to renew, they're like, we're not interested, Tony Khan, because they think your product is utter dog shit. What are you going to do then, bro? Like, what? Because you wanted to go after a niche wrestling audience that couldn't facilitate real growth like the other wrestling company, you know, has. I mean, look, I'm not out here tooting the horn of the fucking Fed saying they're doing the best shit ever, but I mean, goddamn, it's better than this. I mean, for as much as we complain about shit matches on WWE TV, I don't want to see people get maimed. I mean, and you can say, oh, I got your kiddie wrestling over here. It's your kiddie wrestling. Now, fuck you, you fucking weirdo. If you're clamoring for this shit, like, and I know, and like I say, this is somebody who was an ECW fan, but I wasn't an ECW fan just for the blood and guts. I was a fan of the entire product, the characters, the presentation, the aesthetic of it all. And I've said that about AEW. I enjoy AEW's camera work and their overall presentation more than I do WWE's, because at least AEW feels like a fucking wrestling show and not a motion picture. You know, I don't want to be watching a made-for-TV movie if I'm watching a fucking wrestling show. I want to see a wrestling show. In AEW, their camera work, their stage, it looks like a wrestling show. What happens on the show is something other, but it looks like a wrestling show. And that's about the best thing I can say about them right now, other than they have Megan Bayne. But there's so many problems in that. And I've done a couple, you know, AEW has a problem with videos. And this is kind of one of those. It's like half Spotlight, half AEW has a problem with, because this all starts from the top. Like I said, this all goes back to Tony Khan wanting to be one of the boys as opposed to being the boss. And if you're the boss and you're not in the wrestling business, you can't be one of the boys. You'll never be one of the boys, Tony. I don't care if you took the Tony Khan driver. You're not one of the boys. You're not. You're a money mark who the boys are taking advantage of. And you allow them to bully you And that's why you're a fucking doormat. Your company is in the shits. You can barely beat NXT in fucking ratings. Yeah, you downsized to smaller venues because you couldn't sell the fucking house at bigger ones. That's a smart business move. It makes your crowd look bigger on television. So that's a good thing. Now, if you just control your fucking roster and then hire somebody to write for you, you need a booker. That's the problem. They want to, you want to treat this like a wrestling company. We'll treat it like a wrestling company. Get a booker. You shouldn't be booking. You should not have anything to do with the day-to-day operations of that company. Unless it immediately involves you, you should have no involvement with it because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Because you allow shit like John Moxley getting suplexed onto a fucking paddle full of spikes, nails, to fucking happen on television, on your streaming fucking platform for everybody to see it. Do you think like parents that, and I'm not saying that little kids, but there's my kids on spring break, if he gave a shit about AEW, he might have been watching that. And then I have to explain to him because he knows, because I've explained to him how wrestling works, because I do it, so I explain the shit to him, but he still enjoys it. But, I mean, do I want to have to explain to him why they do that shit? And you call me whatever you want for saying, oh, you're a prude. No, my kid watches fucking horror movies, but nobody's really getting hurt in those. So this is just, it's a ridiculous spot. It shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have been allowed. And it all falls on Tony Khan. The blood's on his hands. The blood's on Tony Khan's hands for allowing it. He shouldn't have fucking allowed it to happen. It's a fucking joke. And as I say, you can say whatever you want about WWE being kiddie and safe. Well, at least if somebody gets hurt, it's doing a legitimate spot and not something to shock people because you can't do anything else other than that is achieve your fucking virtual head pats from shock value, because that's all those spots are good for. And it's garbage. It appeals to the lowest common denominator. It's fucking garbage. There, I said it. And I don't give a fuck. That's my opinion. And now it's your turn. Leave yours in the comments below. Do you think this spot was unnecessary, or do you think it was warranted, justified, whatever? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Let me know. If today's the day I've earned it, subscribe to the channel. Ding that bell for notifications so you know when we go live or upload a new video. We got a lot of content coming, boys and girls. A lot of content. I am Pete Daddy Dollar from Wrestling with Horror. If I don't see you, have a great day. A pleasant tomorrow. I'll catch you on the next one. Remember, it's always better to burn out than fade away, or to be suplexed on a paddle full of fucking nails. Bye!